So for my AI prompt, I just let it know that I'm an accounting student and I'm trying to solve a retirement savings problem. I told it my goal is to find the total amount of money my client would have at age 65 and what the present value of this amount would be. I also want to come up with an alternative plan to suggest and why with numbers to justify my suggestion, just so it's not all just like saying it, but I can actually back it up with proof of data. I told it to please act as a finance professional with good knowledge of Python, apply the KISS principle, keep it simple, stupid, to the code. I let it know the question I'm solving was the one from the textbook, the retirement savings decision. You're a financial advisor helping a client plan for retirement. Your client just graduated from university and is 22 years old, making $65,000 per year. He plans to retire at age 65 and wants to save 30% of his income at every year end. You expect the inflation rate to be 2% per year and the interest rate to be 5% per year. You also expect his salary to increase by 3%. You suggested him to invest 60% saving in stocks and 40% in bonds, so 60-40. That's actually pretty common. You expect the stock to return 8% per year and the bond to have a 4% yield. He also thinks that he might be able to put about $1,000 more at the end of the year. How would this affect the total amount of money he would have at age 65? So with all this data and the question being acknowledged, I asked it to build a time value of money, present value, and future value calculator to help solve this problem and help come up with an alternative suggestion while backing it up with reason and numbers. So the retirement savings analysis, this is basically just kind of letting us know what it figured out. So the future value at retirement at 65, obviously my client is projected to have $6.216 million, $893.49 by the time they retire. In today's dollars, that is worth about $431,601.98. So the calculations assume a weighted average return of 6.4% on their investments, using the 60% stocks at 8% yield and 40% bonds at 4% yield. The impact of my client saving $1,000 per year. If they manage to save an additional $1,000 per year, this would have a significant impact on their retirement savings. The total future value would increase to $6,426,334.56. An increase in savings, that extra $1,000 per year adds up to an additional $209,000 over the 43 years until retirement, thanks to the power of compounding. So here's some just alternative plans that the AI has come up with to just provide alternative suggestions to my client. So alternative one is we could increase the savings rate. So just by increasing the savings rate from 30% to 35%, the new future value for this retirement savings would grow up to $7,253,042.41. The additional savings, this simple 5% increase in saving results in an extra $1 million, $1,036,148.96 for retirement. So this is depending on their tolerance, this is the more least risky way to go. This is as it says right here, this is the most direct and least risky way to increase retirement savings. It relies on just discipline rather than taking on more of a market risk. As we all know, savings is an absolute discipline. I mean, it's pretty easy to walk into a store and just be like, I want that, I want that. So just sticking to the discipline of saving could gain you an extra $1 million for your retirement. So a more aggressive investment strategy that I would suggest for my client. So for a client, obviously on a long time horizon, so 43 years, a more aggressive investment strategy would be increasing from 60-40 to 70% stocks and 30% bonds. The weighted average return increases from 6.40 to 6.80. The new future value for this would be, so with the more aggressive allocation, the retirement savings could reach $6,856,741.19. Additional savings, this change in investment strategy could add an extra $639,847.69 to the retirement fund. So what I would suggest is obviously trying to increase that savings rate from 30 to 35%, because I mean, just looking at these two suggestions back to back, I would try to just increase my discipline and just try to shoot for that extra $1 million by the time I'm 65, to where I can have fun with my family. And yeah, so And then reasoning that historically stocks have outperformed bonds over the long term, giving the clients long time until retirement. They have time to recover from any short term market downturns. Oh yeah, this is yeah. So this is approach offers higher potential returns, but also comes with higher risk. So and I exported this code into Collab, and this is kind of what it returns. So it just kind of recognizing. So with the KISS principle, to keep it simple stupid, it's kind of putting it into and labeling it so I can see like easy like what each chunk of code is. So right here is my client's current situation. It gives me my age, retirement age, current salary, salary increase rate, savings rate, all that. The investment details, so stock allocation, bond allocation, both my returns and my additional savings per year. Right here, it's calculating the future value annuity. This is just kind of calculating all my present value, my future value. Basically, just telling it what, like when I told it to calculate the present value, future value, time value of money. This is basically what it's doing right here. Again, right here, and then down here, this is displaying my results. So it's displaying the results of the future value of savings at age 65 and the present value of retirement savings